Good evening and welcome to the July 26th meeting of the Prince George's County Community Television Commission. Welcome all, it's good to see you. We are going to move right into the agenda. And the first order of business is the approval of our meeting minutes from June 28th. As soon as I do this, thank you again. Is there a motion to accept minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes.
Okay, and second, thank you. And I neglected once again to introduce our commission. I'm Tom McLeod and I'm the commission chair.
Doris McMillan.
Mike Thompson.
Thank you. And we'll continue on the agenda. The first order of business are the action items.
There are no action items at this time.
No action items, thank you. And then we move into the monthly reports.
The monthly report for the month of June 2017. For Verizon, we have 17 open calls, 16 closed calls, and 1 outstanding. For Comcast, we have 10 open calls, 10 closed calls, and 0 outstanding. The outstanding call for Verizon is the Cinnamon Ridge price quote, whereby the homeowners have to call Verizon directly to get a price quote. But according to Ms. Williams, she stated that she has not been made aware of any homeowner who has received any price quote. So that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments? Thank you. Hearing none, we'll move to the community television report.
That report was submitted and it was accepted.
So it was. Questions, comments from the commissioners? Hearing none. The next order of business is public comment.
Mr. Wilson?
Hi, good evening. My name is Derek Wilson. I'm an employee of Camp Community Association Management Professionals. We manage homeowner associations, and I'm currently an on-site manager for Oak Creek Club Homeowners Association. And I'm here tonight. I've been on a journey for the last year and maybe a couple months with getting a concern addressed. We have a in-ground cable supply line box that is missing a portion of the cover for the box, and so it's been a safety concern. I placed a cone over the issue and kind of monitoring to make sure that that's still there, but it's an in-ground system, so if someone's just to be walking by and fall in, they could hurt themselves. And so I've been in contact with Verizon. I've had several requests. They'll send someone out and they will say that it's not their concern. Then I would move to Comcast, and it's just been a back and forth and have not been able to get the concern addressed. And so last week I decided I was going to pick up the phone and call 311. I said maybe they have a process that they can help us with. And so they were very helpful. They put me in communication with Gina here, and so that's been very helpful. We contacted Verizon. They verified that it's not their concern. Gina has now forwarded the complaint over to Comcast, and so hopefully we'll get some resolve to the concern in the near future. But I would just like to, I'm not sure if there's guidance out there already for the cable companies, but it would be nice if they were to talk to each other. So if they came out and discovered that, hey, it's not Verizon, if there's a way that they can communicate to Comcast to get them on the concern sooner than later. And also just a concern with being in a developing community. I've noticed that when lines are ran for new service, the lines, they'll pull them through and then they just pop out of the ground at a location. There's no safety netting placed around those concerns. And so again, you have another safety concern. And so I just wonder if there is any guidance around that and someone that can follow up and hold the cable companies to some standards around their equipment and safety within the communities.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if there are currently any standards or process for what you're requesting. We can take a look at it and see if
We can
there
take a look
are
at it and then
be able to respond that way. Let me ask you, when did this initiative, this issue first come up for you?
So it's been at least a year and a couple months. So I would have to say maybe April of last year when I discovered that there was a concern. And at one point in time, there was a Verizon technician that was on site And so I walked over to the location. He was looking at something else, and I asked him, hey, is this something that belongs to Verizon? That technician actually confirmed that it was a Verizon box, and he stated that I would put a service call into their construction team, that he would put a call into the construction team and get it taken care of, and noticed that it still had not been taken care of. So then I just kind of continued following up with Verizon to get the concern addressed. And it's just been just kind of like a back and forth, no follow up and follow through on the concern. Had they gotten back to me sooner and just stated for sure that it wasn't theirs, then we could have possibly been a little further down the road with getting the concern addressed.
Mr. Wilson, to whom have you been speaking at Verizon?
I have my service request, so I've kept the ticket number, so I didn't bring that with me this evening, but I would call in to the Verizon
Like
call
customer
center.
service?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And they would give me a ticket for my request, and so I do have that information as well, as far as the times that I've called in and the reference numbers for the request.
Okay.
Have you shared that information with Gina?
No, I have not. I can do that. I'll send that over to you.
Right, that would be
tomorrow.
helpful.
Okay.
So just to clarify, it is a Verizon or it is not?
So, as of last week, Verizon came out and stated that it's definitely not Verizon and that it's a Comcast concern. And so we forwarded the concern to Comcast, I think, as of yesterday. And so we'll have to wait and see what their response will be.
Okay, so we're not, I guess, 100% certain at this point in time until you hear back from Comcast.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Comcast as of yet, but once I hear from them, then
Do you have a
we'll
picture of it?
I
Does it say Verizon or Comcast on the?
There's
on the
no
box?
name on, the only name that's on the box is just the name of the brand of the actual, for the cover itself.
Yeah.
So it's a two-part cover. It has a outer piece, and then there's an inner piece, I guess, that you can pop out to kind of access. It's like an access door into the actual cover. And so the only name that's on there is actually the name of the brand of the actual cover. And I've done some research on that name because I was actually just going to go ahead and order a new cover just to be done with it, and was not successful with that either. So it's been a bit of a journey.
Hopefully we can bring it to a close
Sure.
relatively soon.
I agree.
It would have been helpful had there been a name on the.
Right.
Yeah.
Most certainly. That would have been, that would have been
Guess that was
definitely.
Would be too easy.
Okay. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
no other public,
Okay, no other public comment. Then, the next agenda item is to hear from the Comcast representative.
I do not have a report this evening.
No report, thank you. Thank you for being here. And Verizon, is there a report?
I
from
don't have a
Verizon?
report, but I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Verizon has made its statement that we are done with Cinnamon Ridge until, it's up to the customer to call us and make the arrangements to, for the estimate or the repair. How long are we going to keep this on file that there's an open claim, with Verizon, open case with Verizon?
When have you heard from Ms. Williams last?
I saw her last meeting.
Uh-huh.
But since, I guess I told Gina and Miss Williams like several months ago that
Right.
they're supposed to, so this is,
we're just keeping track of the price quote. you know.
okay.
I mean, even though you consider the case closed, but we're just keeping track of those price
Yes.
quotes.
And maybe we can be in touch with Ms. Williams again and encourage her to alert the residents again that nothing essentially can be done until a sufficient number of the residents indicate that they want the work to be done, and then we can get a.
Right, because they have the option to go to a private contractor
Mhm.
or use Verizon.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a note of
But
that.
either way, Verizon is done.
Exactly.
Okay,
Unless they hire us to do the work.
right,
Right.
okay.
Thank you. The next agenda item are comments from the commissioners. Are there comments, questions? Hearing none, our next meeting is scheduled for the 23rd of August. Hopefully that date is on everyone's calendar and we'll be able to make it. And if there's no other business, we have exhausted our agenda and are prepared to adjourn the meeting.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
And so we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.